This is it, the last ever feedback. And tonight, we're going to take a look back at some of my favorite feedback moments. Stay with us. For the last time, feedback starts now. A very sad evening for me, seeing as this is my last ever show here at TV5. I've worked here for 4 years and hosted this program for 3 years. But tonight, it all comes to an end. But before we get too mushy on the subject, we're going to have some fun. We're going to take a look back at some of my favorite moments on this show. You know, Feedback was created to be TV5's public affairs and interview program. But right from the beginning, we did things a little differently. We worked outside of the box to inform and entertain, but still have some fun along the way. Here's a look back at my first year of Feedback.
Well, that's what I'd say about that. We're actually going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be speaking with these four over here who actually, they were pretty good in the open. We tamed them, but we're going to take a break, and when we come back, it's free-for-all with TV5 News anchors after this. It's all here in our premiere edition of Feedback. Evening and welcome to our premiere edition of Feedback. I'm Mark Despotakis. Later on in the show, we're going to tell you what this show's about and a little bit about the format of the show. Let's start with, well, basically, why am I here? Why is this?
You are basically filling in. It's a mid-season replacement. Consider this as on a season hiatus. So it's going to be returning next season, as well as as I mentioned, you're filling in. You're the mid-season replacement. They have comedies and everything else for mid-season, while you're just a news program that's just a mid-season.
I can do it too.
You can do it too, exactly.
But man, I know, like, I've seen you driving around the campus around town, and I've seen the dog in the car, and I was, in fact, talking to someone, oh, who do you have on the show tonight? And I said, oh, I have Dr. Reinhardt on. And he said, oh, ask her about the dog. So, you know, tell us about Maggie.
Well, Maggie is 5 years old, and she grew up on Clarion campus, on the Clarion campus. And, of course, you know, for the last 2 years, I've been down in the new residence, but the first 3 years, she was in Moore Hall. And
all right, and we're back, and I have a rambunctious little cat over here. All right, as I said before the break, we're going to talk a little bit about the adoption process. Let's say I want to adopt this cute little kitty. If you want a rambunctious kitty, here's one for you.
Right.
How would you go about doing that?
It's a little sweet here. I haven't seen much of the town, except for some bar. What was it called? Loomis?
The Loomis.
I saw the Loomis. Looks like the lobby of a Holiday Inn to me.
And welcome back to Feedback. As I said, we're talking local politics, county politics here. The Clarion County Commissioners join us, John Shropshire, Donna Hartle, the chair, and David Cypher. Thank you guys for joining us. So,
thank you.
Been in for 3 months now. How's it going?
Great.
Great?
Going really great.
Putting in a lot of long hours and just going through the paperwork.
Yeah. After the break is U.S. Rep. John Peterson will be joining us. Well, sort of. I did an interview with him from Washington last week, and we're going to show you that
show that to you in the next segment. I'll do like an insta change of clothes, and then I'll insta change of clothes back. We'll be back after this. For the older crowd, but let's look at what's happening. We have kids shooting kids. Look what happened in Columbine. Look what happened in Michigan, I believe, a few weeks ago with the 6-year-old.
And I believe there was 26 gun laws that were broken. Would 2 more laws have changed things? No, I don't think so.
Guess what party he's affiliated with? I mean, this is just almost too fitting, I think. He is a socialist. So, you know, as you can see that I'm a communist. I've been accused of that on a few occasions, actually, based on my views on the program and in life in general. So I thought that it was rather fitting. I've actually never heard of the guy. I really don't think he's going to go too far unless a lot of other communists like me get out there. And the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, I pulled this out of the paper, must have been a week or 2 ago. It was just a tiny little blurb in the TV section. It's about a TV station in Rochester, New York, WUHF-TV. And what they're going to start doing is displaying small text ads across the bottom of the screen during some of their programs. So not only are you going to have every once in a while the 2-minute breaks like you see everywhere of commercials, but it's actually going to be during the program you're watching. So look out for that. I will be flipping the channel if I see it any time. But that's that. I had to get that off my chest, throw that piece of paper away now. I think it is really, really strange because this is what we do for contact now. There is no more human interaction. I mean, I'm sure you witnessed it. You go to a store and everybody just walks down this way and walks down the aisle. There is no hello, how are you? When you check out, you scan the stuff, put it in the bag, and go home. There is no talking. You don't see that anymore, and it scares me. You don't even see people calling each other on the phone anymore. I saw Pat Robertson on there, one of my favorite people, of course, and he was saying that he was talking against John McCain, saying that, you know, he was speaking ill of George W. Bush and how bad that was, and he says, and you should realize that our enemies are not those fellow Republicans, they're the Democrats, they're the ones who are enemies. And I thought, wow, this is like the mecca of capitalism. For those of you who like the free market and all that, and think capitalism is a great system, go to Disney World and pay $2.50 for a 20-ounce water or a 20-ounce Coke. We're totally out of time, no time to talk to you, we'll see you tomorrow. There you go, 1 year, here we are, and you saw some clips. Take a look, you see this camera behind me. There are a couple reasons we have it here. First of all, look, we have a little cake. Can you see that? Can you read that? Happy 1-year anniversary feedback for the crew. So another reason, I'll show you what we're going to do with this camera in just a minute. But also, I want to, let me set this down. Hold on. Bear with me.
Well, as you saw, I don't look quite the same as I did then, and neither do many of my guests. All right, stay with us. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, some of my favorite feedback clips. Stay with us. Feedback continues after the break.
This portion of the programming was brought to you by the Clarion Bowl Arena, located on Route 322, 1 mile east of Clarion. Bowl Arena offers rock and bowl every Friday and Saturday night, and a game room with 8 pool tables and arcade games. Bowl Arena also offers bumper bowling for kids' birthdays and league play for adults. Call 764-3471. Again, that's 764-3471.
This portion of programming brought to you by Sarah Jane's Deli and Bakery, located 7 miles north of Shippenville on Route 208 next to the Freiburg Bank. Sarah Jane's is the perfect cater for all your special events. From weddings to private gatherings, Sarah Jane's has cakes for any occasion. Call 354-2804 today to book Sarah Jane's or stop by the fresh, delicious deli and baked goods made on location at Sarah Jane's Deli and Bakery.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant. The Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant is located at 540 Main Street in Clarion and offers dining as well as a nightclub. The restaurant and nightclub are open 7 days a week for your convenience. Call the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant, 226-8400.
I'm the best thing you ever had. Only things I'm guilty of. Giving you too much love. Making you crazy, making you rat. Making me fall, making me upset. Seem to think I'm playing her game. Don't you know, she'll never hurt.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
You're watching TV5 with Zeta Tau Alpha.
Welcome back to the final ever edition of Feedback. It's a pretty sad night for me, but we're using this half hour to look back at some of my favorite moments from my 3 years hosting this show. Perhaps my first big interview was that of a musical star. Ann Hampton Callaway is, in my opinion, one of the world's greatest jazz vocalists. She sings in the style of Ella Fitzgerald and is one of America's great vocalists. A few years ago, she starred in the Broadway musical Swing. It was at that time I got to do a phone interview with her, and she actually sang to me on the phone.
Well, you know, I was just thinking this. We've been talking about scat. Maybe could you explain exactly what it is to our viewers?
Sure. Scat is the use of voice rhythmically to a harmonic structure, say a song, which has chords. And it's basically taking the voice and using nonsense syllables. Like some people like to do, you know, like Frank Sinatra would say doobie doobie doo.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody seems to have their own scat syllables, like I'm
on like the floor now after listening to it. I'm amazed by that.
Well, you know, after a cocktail or two, I could even get you to sing scat. So
I remember that interview like it was yesterday. I'm rarely nervous before I do interviews for this program, but I was extremely nervous when I interviewed Ann. And it was even by phone, so it wasn't like I had to face her in person. Anyway, Ann has just released a new CD titled Signature. I haven't heard it yet, but I can only imagine it's as good as the rest of her work. Moving on. In April of last year, we talked creativity with creativity expert Jeff Tobe. He is a great speaker and really has a lot to say about how to enhance your own personal creativity. Here's a look back at my interview with Jeff.
So,
crayons are your metaphor for doing this. Why crayons?
well, you know, it all comes from coloring outside the lines, really. And coloring outside the lines actually comes from my father, who gave me a poem when I was 10 years old. Not a very poetic kind of guy, but he found it. It was anonymously written. I was walking home one day, and I had the worst report card I'd ever received. I mean, I wasn't a bad student. I got A's and B's, but what I dreaded, on the bottom of our report cards, you know, what was the one word we all had, that we all hated? Remember?
Well, there's a lot. But
Yeah, well, mostly it was comments. You know,
yeah,
conduct.
Conduct,
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, I got good grades, but what I hated was, you know, Jeffrey has seen the hallway more than our janitors, you know. Jeffrey is on a first-name basis with the principal. I don't know. Jeffrey won't stand in line when told to. Well, those kinds of things. And I was walking home when I was 10 years old, and I had the terrible report card. Not only did I have bad comments, but I had an F, one F for failure. I was scared to go home. And I walked home, and my dad basically didn't say a thing. He handed me a copy of a poem, and he said, here, read this. Now, like I say, he's not a very poetic kind of guy. He found it. It's anonymously written. But the first line is, coloring outside the lines is scary business. And it just became the metaphor for everything I do. It wasn't originally the name of my company or my book or anything, but I was walking through Chicago O'Hare one day, and a guy stopped me. He said, I know you. You're the coloring outside the lines guy, the crayons guy. And as soon as he said that, I said, you know what, this works. And so we started to use it, and that's really a brand. Everything we send out from our office, as you know, is sent in crayon or in colorful markers.
I got this note from you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, if you can. I don't know if you can see it from there, but it's all in different colors.
Multiple colors, and it just gives us a little bit of leeway. That's all. We have a lot of fun. I don't know if you notice on my card that I'm not president. I don't own the company. I'm actually the primary colorer.
Jeff really has a lot of great ideas, and his book is worth reading. It's called Coloring Outside the Lines. Well, we are winding down to the last 15 minutes of feedback ever. Stay with us. More of my favorite highlights are right after the break. Feedback continues in 2 minutes.
This portion of programming was brought to you by Uzi's Pastries. If you're looking for the perfect wedding cake or just a few cookies, call Uzi's Pastries. Uzi's Pastries offers a wide selection of wedding cakes, cheesecakes, and cookies. For all your pastry needs, call 227-CAKE.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Fox's Pizza Den. Fox's Pizza Den is located on Old Route 66 in Clarion and offers all-day delivery. Phone 226-5555. That's 226-5555. Fox's Pizza Den is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone 226-5555.
This portion of programming brought to you by Slugger's Homemade Meats, located 7 miles north of Shippensville on Route 208 next to the Freiburg Bank. Slugger's offers a wide assortment of fresh meats, from ring bologna to stick bologna with hot peppers and American cheese to beef jerky and hot sausage. They have it all. If you are looking for custom cutting and wrapping, smoking and curing deer processing, phone 354-2804 and ask for Slugger.
This portion of the program was made possible through a grant from Clarion Hospital. Clarion Hospital is located off of Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Clarion Hospital offers outpatient services, transitional care, as well as an emergency room open around the clock every day of the year. More than 400 employees and 80 physicians work to serve the community. Call the Clarion Hospital at 226-9500. Clarion Hospital, providing health care to Clarion County and surrounding communities since 1954.
Welcome back to this final edition of Feedback. I have had the honor and privilege to host this show for the last 3 years, but tonight, it all comes to an end. So tonight I'm taking a look back at some of my favorite feedback moments. Of course, there are more than I could fit into a half-hour show, but I have selected some of my most memorable ones. I've always wanted to fly in a medical helicopter to see how air ambulances work. Well, Feedback gave me that opportunity. Last year, I had the chance to spend an afternoon with the Stat Medevac crew at the Clarion Hospital. I had such a great time and learned so much.
Can we take a look around here? What is all in here? I mean, you cram a lot into a pretty small space.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually not bad once you get used to it. You don't have to get up to go anywhere. It's all within reach, though,
True.
so it's really not bad. This here is basically you have your oxygen and your suction unit, just like you'd have in a normal ambulance. You have your light switches and all that right here. You know, they're all clustered together. An onboard Doppler system, so we can listen to fetal heart rates and blood pressures and that in the air. That's one thing in this environment. It's real loud, and we have to wear. That's why one reason why we wear the helmets is so we can hear each other. We also have headsets that we provide to patients who are awake. That way we can talk back and forth to them also, yeah.
Huh. On that afternoon, I actually got to fly in Stat Medevac's helicopter over Clarion, and it was such a neat experience. We also had the opportunity to tour Stat Medevac's Pittsburgh Dispatch Center later in the year, which was also a lot of fun and very informative. Moving on to October of last year, we had a live performance right here in our studio. Pittsburgh jazz singer Lisa Hindmarsh came to Clarion and performed with the Clarion University Jazz Band. It was a first for TV5, a live performance right here in our studio. Here's a look back at some of Lisa's performance.
Happened to pass your doorway, gave you a buzz, that's all. Well, maybe I thought some about you, so I thought I'd pay a social call. Do you recall the old days? We used to have a ball. Now it's not that I'm lonesome without you, I just thought I'd pay a social call. I lie and say things are just grand the truth. I haven't been too well, and if you should try and kiss me, well, I promise I won't stall. And maybe we'll get back together, starting from this incidental, elemental, simple social call.
Over these last 3 years, I've had the opportunity to interview some of the greatest people here in Clarion. Our current commissioners have always been loads of fun on this show. Our anchor free-for-alls always proved to be interesting and some of the most fun I had while hosting Feedback. But the guest who has made the most appearances on this show, drumroll please, was Clarion University President Dr. Diane Reinhardt. She has always been more than willing to appear on this program and was always fun and informative. Earlier this month, she was on this very set, and she brought a special visitor with her. Aggie is here. This is her behind. But
let's go this way. There
yeah,
we
they'll
go.
get her on camera too there. So to get her up here, look at that. To get her up here, what do you have to use?
I gave her an Altoid.
Altoid. So how about that? And what? It doesn't help the breast.
It doesn't help her doggy breast, but she's a good dog. She loves students, and she's very friendly. So when you see her on campus, you know, she'll be the dog that'll run up to you and say hello.
Look at her. She's going for the Altoid.
She's going for another Altoid. But she's 8 years old, and she's been a real good dog for me.
Now, I remember you telling me she grew up on the Clarion campus.
She did, yeah. She, you know, that's when I lived on the second floor of Moore Hall. And she lived there, and she would, when she was a little puppy, she was on that little porch.
Right, yeah, that's wonderful.
And then she would, she had a little doggy door, so she'd be in the backyard before the fence was taken down.
I like it with the fence down there. So that's a look back at some of my favorite Feedback moments. These are just a small portion of all the fun I had while hosting this show. Well, stay with us. Coming up after this final Feedback break, my final goodbye.
This portion of programming is sponsored by Reese Brothers, located in Drake Square Building in Oil City. Reese Brothers offers competitive hourly wage, plus daily bonuses, flexible scheduling, company-sponsored health benefits, and paid professional training. Call today at 1-800-365-3500, extension 684, or 677-9236 for your personal interview, or stop by and visit the Drake Square Building. Reese Brothers, where integrity and technology connect.
Do you want complete coverage of local, state, national, and international news as it happens? Then tune in to Clarion's very own TV5 News Live for complete coverage of the Clarion area and our world. TV5 news crews join with the crews from the world news leader CNN to provide complete coverage of the day's events. With advanced satellite capabilities, TV5 can bring you the latest news as it happens. So tune in every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings for Clarion's very own TV5 News Live.
Whether you're looking for formal attire or a Halloween costume, Town & Country Cleaners has it all. From tux rental to costumes, stop by Town & Country Cleaners. Town & Country Cleaners has a wide variety of services to offer, including dry cleaning and spot removal. Located in Clarion Borough on Liberty Street right next to the VFW, Town & Country Cleaners can handle all of your needs. To find out what Town & Country can do for you, call 226-4781.
Wardrobe for some TV5 News staff provided by Fashion Bugs located in the Clarion Mall. Whether you're looking for junior trendy or fashion for women, they have it all with many different styles. Fashion Bug also offers a wide selection of accessories. Fashion Bug is located in the Clarion Mall, just off exit 62 off Interstate 80. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 5.
Welcome back to the moment that has been 4 years in the making. My final goodbye here on TV5. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank so many people who have been so influential in all that I've done here at Clarion. First, to this community. Thank you for welcoming me and letting me tell your stories. It truly has been a distinct privilege for me to get to know so many of you and have the opportunity to tell your stories to so many others. You have made me realize that journalism is definitely the career for me. I hope to always be able to work in a community so welcoming as Clarion. To Clarion University and all of the staff and administration here, thank you for educating me, not only in academics, but also in life. I will take so much away from Clarion, and I will always remember the Golden Eagles and keep a part of Clarion University in my heart. To Mike Markowinski, my first ever photographer and producer here at TV5, I learned so much from you, and because of you, I had the opportunity to host this show. Feedback would have never happened if it wasn't for your help and support. To the TV5 staff who I've worked with over the last 4 years, you guys are the greatest. Being a college student and working at a television station at the same time isn't always easy, but we all pulled through. It is with many of you, those still here, and the many who have graduated, that I have my fondest memories of Clarion. I know all of you will be a success in whatever you choose to do in life. To Larry Elkin and Bill Saylor, the greatest engineers in the world, you guys had to put up with me a lot, but you were always calm and very accommodating. You made my job as news director much easier because you were willing to help. Thank you. To the communication department faculty, thank you for all you have done for me. I have learned so much from each of you. Your classes have helped me to solidify my career choice. I will miss all of you. To Nancy, our department secretary, thanks for everything. You were such a help to TV5. You always knew the right thing to say or the right thing to do to calm my nerves on a crazy day. To Dr. Scott Kuhn, thanks for your help, especially on September 11th. Many people don't know this, but Dr. Kuhn rolled his computer into our studio on September 11th to help us write stories. It made a huge difference. To our general manager, Bill Adams, thanks for your support. Without your help, TV5 would never get on the air, and our lighting would probably be a lot worse than it already is. To Mary Wilson, my fearless academic advisor. When I came to you full of fear about anything, you were always more than willing to help me make the best of the situation. Best of luck to you in your retirement. To Dr. Pat Kennedy, you've been such an inspiration in the short year I've known you. You are such a wealth of knowledge and a wonderful addition to Clarion. Keep up all that you do. To my roommate, Mark, we fought a lot, but that was the fun of it, right? I really do appreciate your friendship, and I wish you the best in your teaching career. To Cynthia, what can I say? We've had our ups and downs. Sometimes it seems like we have them weekly, but you are truly a wonderful friend. We've been through so much together, and I hope we remain close after graduation. To Josh here at TV5, all my best to you. It's been so great working with you. You were always willing to tackle whatever task I needed you to handle. You saw my vision for TV5 and helped to achieve it. To Matt Ness, good luck with TV5 in the fall. It can be a challenge sometimes, but I know you're up to it. You have proven that you have the skills and the drive to do it. Thanks for all your help over these last 2 years. TV5 would not be what it is without you. To Megan here at TV5, we've been through so much together at this place. We've had our fair share of fights, but never lost sight of creating the best possible product we could. And thanks for being my personal psychologist so many times. Enjoy your semester at sea in the fall, and I know you'll miss all my positive comments, but you'll survive. To Kelly, I don't even know what to say to you. You have made my last few months at Clarion amazing. I learned so much about life and about myself from you. I really call you a hero in my life because you have made me rethink how I live and what I live for. Because of you, I enjoy life more than ever before, and you will never know how grateful I am to you. Best of luck in your future endeavors, and let's never lose touch. To my parents and my family, thanks for all your support. You all realized what a news junkie I was from early on. Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for your support as I traveled through college. I had some rough spots, but you guys always helped me along. I'm sure there are many others I have missed, but don't feel slighted. Every person I know has had some special impact on my life. Let's all stick together and keep in touch. TV5 has meant so much to me over the last 4 years. As I leave, I am filled with both joy and sadness. I leave TV5 with immense pride of all that is done here. I encourage you at home to continue your wonderful support of all that is broadcast from this studio. Your help and assistance is so very much appreciated. So thank you all at home for joining us on this last ever feedback. These last 4 years of TV5 have meant so much to me. So for the last time, thank you and good night.